I traveled to Nashville for a day to buy yarn and donuts. It's true. Hi, I'm Samantha, also known as Bobble Clubhouse. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if this is not your first time here, welcome back. So let me tell you how I unexpectedly ended up in Nashville for Nash Yarn Fest this past weekend. 2 weeks ago, I was sitting at home scrolling through social media and watching everyone post about their upcoming trips to Nash Yarn Fest, and slowly but surely my FOMO was growing. Originally, I decided to sit this one out, but with each and every new post, I just knew I wanted to be there for their very first Nash Yarn Fest. The festival ran from Friday, March 14th through Saturday, the 15th, and I had to work on the 14th, so I knew I wouldn't be able to make it for the first day, but at the last minute, I found a flight on Spirit Airlines for the Saturday morning. And it was on before I knew it. I had purchased my flight and booked my dog Shelly into doggy daycare. My alarm went off at 3:30 a.m. on the 15th. All right, it's 4 a.m. I'm ready to hit the road and start this trip to Nashville. I have my backpack, which is going to be my best friend during this trip. I've loaded it up with an umbrella, water bottle, my ID, all the things I'm going to need during this less than 24-hour trip. I cannot believe that I'm going to be back here tonight. My head will be on my own pillow, fingers crossed, knock on wood, tonight. This is just a quick there and back going to Nashville for Nash Yarn Fest. I'm so excited. Let's go. I had packed my bag the night before with all of my essentials that I would need throughout the day. Plus, I saved a little bit of extra room for yarn, obviously, and I headed to the airport. Now, I haven't flown Spirit Airlines since college, and I definitely had some preconceived notions about what my trip with them was going to be. Through security, I have my coffee, I'm good to go. I just saw somebody order an iced coffee with just ice. It was just a cup of ice with like a shot of espresso and some mocha in there, and I thought they were a psychopath. And then they pulled out a baggie of alcohol, just like mini alcohol, filled it up. It is like 5 a.m, so it's gonna be a good trip. But honestly, the flight was completely fine. Could the seats have been a little thicker? Yes, but for such a short flight and for the price, I didn't mind at all. Plus, I slept through most of it. And let me tell you, this flight and Spirit Airlines in general was a party. How did nobody tell me? This is not an ad, by the way, but how did nobody tell me how great they are? The pilot dropped a dad joke to keep everyone calm when we hit a little bit of turbulence on the way in. And they even did a raffle at the end of the flight where they gave away 1,000 points to a person that was sitting in a particular seat on the airplane. So Spirit Airlines, officially, please forgive me for every joke I have made at your expense. It was a great way to kick off the trip. The second I landed, I immediately headed to Five Daughters Bakery. I'd heard amazing things about them, and y'all, they did not disappoint. However, I did get questioned and laughed at by my Lyft driver, who was very confused by me going from the airport directly to pick up donuts. By the time I arrived, it was pouring rain, which meant that the patio that was in their outside area was completely out of commission, and the inside was already a little bit packed. I was able to snag a seat in the corner and stuffed my face with sugar, and the staff was so lovely. The donuts were completely worth the trip. I ordered the cookies and cream donut, and I thought I was getting the King Kong donut, but it turns out that I had accidentally ordered the maple donut instead. And let me tell you, what a happy accident that ended up being. The maple donut was unreal. I wouldn't have picked it intentionally, but I'm obsessed with it now, and I will be dreaming about it until my next trip to Nashville. I also grabbed another goodie, and I stuffed it in my carry-on because snacks. Even though it was still pouring by the time I left, I made a quick stop at Broadway Street in downtown Nashville to see the neon lights in person. And I also wanted cowboy boots really badly, but since I was traveling light, I went for the next best thing and I snagged cowboy boot earrings. Then I was off to Nash Yarn Fest. I barely made it through the door before I ran into Karina, who knew I was doing this yarn marathon of sorts, and she had packed me snacks to keep me going. Okay, what did you bring me?
We have veggie sticks, and we have a granola bar, some chocolate, and some sour gummy worms because you need some sugar.
Thank you. This was honestly the sweetest surprise of the trip. Thank you so much, Karina. It meant so much to me. Even with the heavy rain, the festival was buzzing. The energy was amazing. Kay and Ann did such a beautiful job curating the vendors, and somehow I got roped into modeling in the fashion show, which was not on my bingo card for the trip, but I had such a blast.
Uh-oh, sorry.
Spontaneous dancing is my favorite dancing.
Jen was also walking in the show wearing one of her own designs. So we got to hang out backstage and catch up, which was so soul filling. Usually I'm only seeing her in passing at these types of things. It was great to spend some quality time and catching up. Now, if you know me, then you know that I have terrible stage fright. I could talk to you all day, but put me on stage and my knees start to buckle. But the MDK community and the audience was so warm and welcoming that it actually ended up being such a fun experience filled with so much laughter the entire time. If you were in the crowd, thank you for being so awesome. It really helped me get through the whole thing. After the show, I finally got to hit the market floor. I've been eyeing Black Pearl Magic's bags for forever, and they did not make it an easy choice for me. I knew I was leaving with something, but it was just a matter of what. I ended up with a clear glitter bag, and I love it so much. And because I was going to buy this anyway, really I'm saving money because I didn't have to pay for shipping. So girl math for the win. I always love seeing Adela and Lola Bean Yarn Company. I didn't have a project in mind for the yarn that I bought, but I could not leave without this gorgeous colorway coming home with me. It would have been such a crime, and it actually would have haunted my dreams. My best friend, Sophia, once told me that she regrets the things that she doesn't buy for so much longer than she regrets the things that she does buy. And this, whether that's an accurate pearl of wisdom or not, it always stuck with me. And so I had to take this yarn with me. If you have any DK and mohair small yardage project ideas and suggestions, please leave them in the comments. But maybe I just need to design something to make with it. Okay, something to think about. At Channy P's Corner, I found the perfect cowboy boot pin, and now I feel like I'm officially ready for the Cowboy Carter tour coming up. And you know I love a good button. These buttons came in the most whimsical, cutest packaging, and I just need to find a project for them, and then they are ready to go. Madeline Tosh and Mononelli Knitting showed their new Atlas yarn collab at the show, and I grabbed a skein in the color Elizabeth Taylor because of course I did. I think I need to make another Sophie scarf with it, but if you have another one skein project idea, let me know in the comments. I had the chance to stop by the Lemonwood booth, and they had the chance to tell me about how their products are being knocked off, which is a huge issue for small businesses and designers in our industry right now. And I might need to make a larger video on this issue because I'm currently considering going through the process of copywriting my own patterns. And I think there's a lot of room for education in this area in our community. But for now, I'll just say that if you're thinking about picking up one of their viral products, please make sure that you are buying from an approved retailer. And this goes for all small businesses in our industry. Always check a company's stockist to make sure that you're supporting the real thing and not supporting a fast fashion retailer. It might be a little bit less expensive for you, but the impact on our community is great. I also had a chance to visit the Thistle Farms table. They are a nonprofit that supports women survivors recovering from trafficking, prostitution, and addiction. I picked up a gorgeous Spark table plate made from natural fibers in Rwanda. It's stunning and will be the perfect addition to my basket wall. I try to grab something for my wall from all of my different travels, and this plate is going to fit right in. By this point, I was running on fumes and gummy worms from Karina, but just across the field was the Nashville Vintage Market, and I had to check it out. Entry was just $5, and I figured I'd treat it like a research trip. I did have a moment of existential crisis when I saw millennial written on a vintage tag, like, but let's move right on past this to talk about the vintage. The vintage crochet pieces were amazing, and I think I found the perfect inspiration for my next pattern. Before leaving, I tried to grab food at Hattie B's, but the line was just way too long, and time was of the essence. So I headed back to MDK headquarters for the Nash Yarn Fest after party instead. The MDK space is so beautiful and inspiring. I always love going there. I got to connect with other makers, enjoyed a glass of wine, grabbed a cookie, and then it was time to head to the airport. By now it was almost 7 p.m. and my flight was originally scheduled for 8:40 p.m. But because of tornado warnings in the area and terrible weather all day, I wasn't shocked when I got a delay notification for my flight. And the delay ended up not being super painful because just after security, I ran into Hattie B's at their airport location. So I grabbed some chicken and I was on my way to my gate. Shout out to Spirit Airlines again, because they kept me updated on my flight at every turn. I just opened my bag and started dying of laughter. Can we take a look at what's inside of here? Snacks, yarn, donut. It made it through security. I swore the flight was going to get canceled, but miraculously we were boarded at 11:45 p.m. and took off around 12:15 a.m. The plane was basically empty, and I may have broken the rules by switching to an aisle seat instead of a middle seat for a little extra space. My seatmate called me out on this, by the way, and teased me for it, but we both appreciated the extra room, and I knocked out immediately as soon as we took off in the air. And when I woke up, we had landed. I missed the entire flight. By the time I got home, I had been awake minus naps at the airport for a full 24 hours. And the next morning, I completely forgot that I had snuck a $5 treat into my carry-on bag. So luckily, security let me keep it. And my first cup of coffee of the day back home had a little extra Nashville sweetness on the side. It was absolute perfection and the perfect way to end the trip. So overall, here's everything that I picked up. I got cowboy boot earrings from downtown Nashville, a cowboy pin from Tanny P's Corner, one skein of Madeline Tosh and MDK Atlas collab in the color Elizabeth Taylor. I picked up an event t-shirt, which by the way is the cutest t-shirt. I'm obsessed with the My Name Is section. I think I might try and embroider my name on there, but that's again another video. I grabbed some new buttons, 2 DK skeins and 1 mohair skein from Lola Bean Yarn, a glitter bag from Black Pearl Magic, checker mini minder from Lemonwood, and everything that I'm talking about and showing in this video will be linked in the description below. Please support these amazing small businesses. Oh, and the plate from Thistle Farms. Overall, I am so glad that I made this trip. It was exhausting, but 100% worth it. And quick disclaimer, as a Black woman traveling solo, I did feel a little bit of iffy vibes when I was down on Broad Street, but every other part of the trip was filled with kindness, from the bakers at $5 Bakery to everyone at Nash Yarn Fest, and the flight attendants and the gate attendants at Spirit Airlines, my Lyft drivers, and everyone at the vintage market was just completely delightful and kind. So with that in mind, if you're visiting, I'd suggest exploring outside of downtown for a slightly warmer experience. I only mention this because it's something that I would want to know if I was picking my next travel location. As a Black person, as a Black woman, you really do have to kind of think about these things. If you made it to this point in this video, comment your next yarn festival trip that you are going to. I always love hearing what's going on in this community, so please let me know. As always, the pattern of the video is ding, 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 ding. You can find my patterns on Ravelry and on Etsy. I'm still a little bit sleepy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye! Bye!